Hello friends, welcome to another session of video tutorial on Selenium Java. In today's session, we are going to cover action class and we will see how to work with hover, context click and drag and drop. Please subscribe, like, share and comment the videos on this channel. If you have any training inquiries, please contact me at techtrainerraj@gmail.com. Let us see what action class does. Action class is the one which is used wherever we need to have control over mouse and keyboard. Okay, so let us see one example. Let us go back to the internet hero kuapp.com. Sometimes we come across the controls wherein we need to hover over to that particular control, such as, okay, in this case it will be generally over an image. Okay, so there are three images here. So once I hover over to that particular image, it will give me some details which we need to fetch. Okay, so this is only possible when we move the mouse over to that particular image. Okay, so this is one wherein we will be using mouse control, and the other one will be context menu. Okay, to use the context menu, so we need to use the mouse control. Okay, and this is the actual control, and if I right click on this, then I'll be getting this context menu. Okay, so how to use this context menu, we will be taking a look. Okay, so this functionality is currently only works with Firefox. Since I don't get the internet option here, for this particular test case, I'm going to use the Firefox driver or Gecko driver. Okay, for drag and drop, I'm going to use another website called jqueryui.com. Okay, so here it provides a frame wherein I can drag and drop. So I can drag this and drop here. Okay, for this we have to use the mouse controls. Okay, so let us see how we can achieve this using Selenium. Okay, so let us flip over to Eclipse. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new project. Again, a Maven project. I'm going to create a simple project. I'm going to call it as edu.rajtechtrainer, and artifact ID will be so action class. Okay, finish. Okay, so from the last class, what I'm going to do is, in this action class, I'm going to add the dependency which I have added from the last class. Okay, these two dependencies are Selenium dependency and TestNG dependency. For this, you watch the video on how to handle alerts, windows and frames. There I have explained how to add this. So I will copy this and then add it into this POM file. Okay, for that I have to add dependencies in inside this dependency I'll add those two dependency. Okay, and save this. Okay, let me add a package here. Right click, source main Java, and click on package, edu dot hashtag trainer dot. So this is going to be an action class, right? Action. Okay. So the package name I called it as edu hashtag trainer and action. Inside this, I'm going to add a new class file. I'm going to call this as action class sample. Click on finish. Okay, from the last session, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the initialize as well as the teardown method. Okay, I'm going to copy this and then add it into this, and I'm going to copy the teardown as well. Okay, copy the teardown and paste it here. Now I need to add a test here. So let us see first our example. Okay, so for that I need to add test annotation and then public void our test. Okay, I need to import this. Okay, inside this, for our example, I'm going to use the internet hero kuapp.com. So another change what I'm going to do is, since I am using two different URL, so I'm going to take out the URL initialization part into the test case now. This is because for this test I'm going to use this internet hero kuapp.com. For the other test I'm going to use other URL. Okay, so that is the reason I moved it out of initialize. Okay, so after going to that URL, I need to click on this link. Okay, to do that, what I need to do, click on our link. Click on our link. So driver dot find element by dot link text. So what is the link name here? The link name is hours. Copy the text and add it here. Okay, and then click on it. Okay, so this clicks the hours link. Okay, what is the next operation which we need to do? We need to mouse over to one of these images. Okay, after mouse over or hover to any of this image, I need to get the name of the user, that is this detail. I need to get this detail, that is name colon user1 or user2 or user3. Okay, after clicking on this, hours, I need to create an object of actions class. Okay, to do that, I'm going to use actions. I'm going to call it as HACT is equal to new of actions, which takes WebDriver as one of the parameter. So in our case, it is driver. Okay, I need to add this import org openqa. Okay, so import this, and okay, now we have created an object of actions class. By using this action class, I need to move the mouse to one of these images. Okay, so let us assume that I have to hover over to this particular element and get this value. To do that, right click on this and go to inspect, and this is okay. Since all the properties for this particular tag is same, so what I'm going to do is, since I'm interested in the second image, I will select that particular image, right click on it, copy, and then copy the XPath. Okay, so this will give me the XPath. So how do I validate this XPath? Whether, okay, I need to do Control F and paste this. So if I have to go to the first one, then I should be changing this array to. Okay, so now, so let us go back and use this. Okay, since I need to find out this element first. That is driver dot find element y dot XPath, and this is the image which we are interested in. Okay, and then I'm going to store it into web element PET is equal to. Okay, I need to import this also. Okay, so this is not double quotes, this will be single quotes. Okay, now we found out the element. So now we need to move the mouse to this particular element using the actions class. So for that we use HACT, which is an object of actions class. Okay, and I'm going to use move to element, and the target element is the element which we got just now, which is P element. Now we need to build the action, move the mouse to that particular element and perform. So build and perform will actually go to that particular, moves the mouse to that particular element. The mouse to that element. Okay, so after this, since we are interested in this image, so right click on the text, click on inspect. So what I will do is I will right click on this and copy the XPath and then paste it here, change it to single quotes. Okay, so let us rerun this, save this and rerun. So right click, run as, TestNG. So now we got the text here as name user2, which is this here. Okay, so that is about hours. Let us move on to take a look at context click now. I will create another test here. So what I will do is I'll create another test here. So add test. I'm going to call this as public void context click. Since this is not going to work on Chrome browser, so I'm going to use Firefox browser for this. So let me copy this link. So now my initialize will also change. Instead of this initialize, what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment this out, and I'm going to add another before method. So public void okay, so I'm going to call this as Firefox init. What I have done is I have added a before method. In that before method, I have set the property to use Gecko driver and Firefox driver. Okay, and inside the test, what I will do is I will go to the URL. This time, instead of going to the base URL, what I will do is I will take out okay, I will go to this context menu directly. I will provide the URL for the context menu directly inside this. Okay, so driver.get will use the up to context menu. Again, after doing that, I need to go to this box. Okay, so I need to find out this element first. Okay, right click, inspect element. This has got ID of hotspot. Okay, so again move to the element. Before we move to the element, we need to find out that element. So web element hotspot element is equal to driver dot find element by dot id. So this has got id, which is called hotspot. So I found this element. Now I need to move to this element. To move to this element, I need to create actions class object. Okay, create actions class object. So again, actions adjust action is equal to new actions, and I'm going to pass in driver to this. Okay, so now after doing that, this is similar to the earlier example. We need to move the cursor over to that particular area. To do that, we have to use action class adjust action dot move to element what is the element which we are trying to move to, which is HS element, and then click on that is context click, and then build, and then perform the operation. Okay, so this will move to that particular element, right click on it to get the context menu. What I need to do after right clicking is I need to press arrow key down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times to get to the internet, and then click on enter so that I get this. Okay, to do that I have to use the robot class of AWT. To use that I need to create an object of robot class is equal to new of robot Okay, so by default it has added this AWT here. Okay, and then a robot. I need to add this exception. I'm going to throw this exception now. Okay, after this I'm going to use this robot object I'm going to use the key press okay, and then key event dot vk underscore down. Okay, so this is the constant for non-numpad down arrow key. Okay, I'm going to use that. So we pressed it once here, and I need to release this now here. bt action dot key release key event dot vk underscore down. Okay, so this is one keystroke which is pressing the down arrow. So this I have to do it 5 times before I go to the internet. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, after this I need to click on enter. Enter. To do that, rbt action dot key press key event dot underscore enter. Okay, and then the same way I need to release it. To key press key release. Okay, and I'm going to have thread dot sleep here. So 5000 milliseconds just to see whether I get the pop-up or not. So I add throws. Okay, right click on this, run it. Okay, what it did was it went to into this and then right clicked here, and then it pressed 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then hit enter at this point to get this pop-up window. So how to handle this pop-up window, I have already uploaded a video. Please go and check that out. Okay. Okay, so let us move on to drag and drop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the first few lines at test. So here instead of context click, it will be drag and drop. So for this I'm going to use this URL, which is this URL. Okay, before I do any operation, I need to find out these two controls first. Okay, so to do that, okay, so it looks like we have a frame here, so I need to switch to this frame first. Okay, so let us inspect this frame. Okay, so this is an iframe. And inside that I have two controls. One is with ID draggable and the other one is droppable. After going into this website, I need to switch to this particular frame. Okay, so to switch to that frame, driver dot switch to dot frame. Okay, so here okay, so this is a frame and this is the path. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a web element is equal to driver dot find element by dot xpath. Okay, so as we said in the last session that you can switch to a particular frame by index or ID. ID is nothing but the name parameter inside the tag. So currently we don't have any name here. We don't have any name here. This iframe has got no other parameters except the class and source. Okay, and there's only one iframe. Okay, so this I'm going to use the web element FLE find and move to the frame. Now get the drag and drop element. Okay, so again web element drag ele is equal to driver dot find element by dot id. So each of these has got IDs, as we can see from here. Right click inspect, ID is draggable and the other ID is droppable. Okay, by ID draggable, okay, the same way I'm going to have another one. This is drop element, which is called droppable. Okay, so after this, since we are going to use action class, create an action object. So actions, so drag drop action is equal to new actions. Okay, so again here I need to pass in driver. Okay, so now dd action dot, so there is a drag and drop method. Okay, so I'm going to use this drag and drop method, and the source is drag element and the destination is drop element. Okay, and then build perform. Okay, so here also I'm going to see thread dot sleep 5000 just to see whether it has really dragged and dropped before it exits. So now since I have 3 test cases, I'm going to disable the other 2. So by enabled is equal to false, and the other one also enabled is equal to false. Okay, with this it is going to run only this particular test case. And let us run this and see. Right click on the Java file, run as TestNG test. Okay, it is going to this URL. Okay, so it has switched, and as you can see it has dragged and dropped. Okay, so let me rerun this by adding more weight. Run. Okay, so before I do this, I'm going to wait here also so that it is very clear. Okay, so now right click, run again. Okay, so it's going to go to this URL, wait for this. Okay, so now it has dragged and dropped it onto the destination element. Okay, so this is how we can use drag and drop. In the last session I missed out on how to switch based on the how to switch to a particular frame based on a web element. So this example shows how to do that. And if your frame has got a name associated with it, then you can do that by switch to dot frame, and you can pass in the variable. For example, there is a frame with a name. Okay, so there is a left panel and there is a main panel. So you can also switch based on this name. To do that, what you need to do is, so you need to use driver dot switch to dot frame. So this one we have used already. This is index based, and this is the one which I'm talking about currently. So if I want to switch to this main panel, I would be giving the value as main panel. Okay, so that will switch to that particular panel. Okay, so this is how we can use the action class to work with our context click and drag and drop. That is the end of today's session. Please stand by for more videos on this channel. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe the channel.